If you look at people, they're constantly trying to pass a judgment of this dependability piece that I talked about. The reason I trust this person is that he always comes back. The reason I trust this human being is he says what he does and he does what he says. In the world of business, this one word that keeps cropping up. I don't know if I can trust this person. I'm not sure I trust this organization. I'm uncertain about what will these people do. My name is Pramod Park. Today I'm here to talk about a subject that's extremely critical for success, relationship success, business success, success in all your relationships in life. We're going to focus at trust at the workplace. So when this word keeps cropping up, I don't know if I can trust him. I'm not sure, is he trustworthy? The start of my video, I'd like to clarify what is the meaning of this word trust. If you look at the building blocks of trust, and if you ask somebody, give me a few reasons why you trust or don't trust somebody, then you'll hear people like always wanting to mention. The reason I think I trust this person is because he's extremely transparent. The reason I think I trust this human being is because communication is very upfront and assertive. The reason I trust this person is that he always comes back. The reason I trust this human being is he says what he does and he does what he says. So when you look at trust, it can be built 4 minutes. It can be lost 1 minute. And when I make this statement, it's because you can be the most trusted soul for someone. And if there is an incident where you have not lived up to fundamental values that human beings expect from other people, which is transparency, responsibility, dependability, consistency, and all of these, trust can be lost in a second. To build trust, it begins with all your interactions with people, all your interactions. And that's why I said 4 minutes. So if you look at the human mind, you're constantly doing two things. You're perceiving and you're judging. And all these perceptions are fundamentally formed with the communication that is happening with you and the world. So all of what you understand about people and situations is based on the sensation that you pick up from the environment. And the environment, that human being that is interacting with you, forms the biggest part of that environment. So when you look at this word trust, two things keep happening. One, that you're constantly looking for reasons to pass a judgment. Two, everything that happens leads to your brain forming perception. All the sensations that you pick up, the weather, the temperature, the way the person's behaving, the way the person's looking. And that's why that strong statement, the first impression is the last impression or the lasting impression. Now, this is all going into the world of perception. I don't want to spend too much time there. But what I'd like to close here by saying is this perception is constant. It's never formed. It's constantly under construction, which means trust is constantly under construction. And if you really look at how could you build trust, then here's a formula that will work if you follow it. And the formula is trust equals to credibility plus reliability plus intimacy, supported by the orientation of that human being. So let me break it up for you. If you look at people, they're constantly trying to pass a judgment of this dependability piece that I talked about. And that's where credibility comes in. And credibility is rather simple. If you break up that word, credit for ability, which basically means that all that you do, which results in superior outcome for yourself and others, gets you brownie points. And the more of these brownie points you collect, the more the perception in people's minds say, lot of credit in the past for this person's ability, credibility, which means you're constantly under surveillance, everything that you're doing. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to get fantastic results for all that you do. What it means is that your efforts are constant. Your efforts are noticed, seen, and understood. The outcome, the result, is something that's completely separate. So, a lot of credibility, when noticed, there is a judgment in the mind saying, looks like this person has a lot of credits for doing a great job. So, at the workplace, when you interact with your colleagues, interact upwards with your bosses, interacts outwards with your customers or vendors, all that gets picked up and noticed in those small interactions or the large ones is, can I give this person credit for what he's doing or what she's doing? So credibility is the first ingredient that leads to a lot of trust. Let me go to the next one. Reliability. Now this word has a wide meaning, but let me filter it down and narrow it for you. So what comes in the way of you being reliable? There are various things that impact all of us. The environment, the weather, money, health, fitness, time, and all of these which are resources for us to function. If you are noticed to be a person who is extremely reliable with a lot of consistency, which means when you give time, you keep time. Which means if you have a schedule, you notice that you follow your schedule. Which means if you took work and you asked for time, you leveraged that time and completed that work within that time. Which means that you are somebody who can be predictable. So reliability is all boiling down to me or somebody in the world saying, I think I can predict that he or she will do it well, do it on time, do it adequately, etc. So, credibility for the past performance, reliability about how dependent and how dependable can I be on this human being? That's ingredient number 2. Ingredient number 3, intimacy. So, do I see this person really being passionate about everything he or she does? Do I see this human being doing it by stretching that extra mile to do a fantastically superior job? Do I see this human being consistently ensuring that quality is a focus for that human being? And therefore, outcomes are good, outcomes are predictable, outcomes have been noticed in the past. So, credibility of the past, reliability of consistency, and the stretch, passion to do things. If I see these 3 things in a person, I will be motivated to pass judgment that that's a pretty trustworthy human being. Now, what's the final? The final piece is, how is this person oriented? So, caste, creed, tribe, religion, all of these things put aside, do I see this person having great human values? Is he an honest human being? Does he show honesty? Which means he's transparent about what he can, what he can't, what he believes in, what he doesn't. He's honest. Is he somebody who shows high integrity? So we all know integrity is about doing things when nobody is watching. Is he somebody who's oriented to a very high level of integrity? Third, does this person really have very strong centricity, customer centricity, internal customer, external customer, which means that he works with people, you can see collaboration oozing from this human being. So is he oriented with those values that make him a person I like? So credibility, reliability, intimacy means I think I am with somebody who will do a damn good job. And your orientation, and this person has great values, large amount of honesty, very, very strong integrity, and therefore I pass a judgment, I trust this human being. Now, I'll close the video by saying that all of these ingredients, credibility, reliability, intimacy, can be demonstrated by the person. Which means if you want the world to trust you, when you do things, ensure that they are seen. So don't fall trap to being that person who hides behind the curtains, does very, very good things, and then sometimes complains saying, I do a whole lot of good work, but I don't know. Somehow still people pass judgments that I am not the best choice. If you are at the workplace, remember, you're competing constantly with your colleagues, with your peers, with your bosses, and with your vendors and customers. So when you do these things, ensure that they are noticed. And I'm not saying do them to be noticed. I'm saying we all do these things in different quantities. You need to ensure that when you do it, you voice it and let people know that you are a trustworthy human being. Click on the link below and keep your learning getting refreshed. Trust is a very critical ingredient for success. So happy trust building.